The thing now is Nigerians have very high expectations. You are close to the president. I mean, you work with him on a daily basis. You would know what his mindset is towards Nigerians. But let's go back and bring in Ken. Ken, you're out there, you relate with Nigerians on a daily basis. You know they have high expectations, which you talked about. Yes, we're a lot of people say Jetson 100 days, but do we seem to have direction? That's what the PDP man in Abuja brought up, that there is no direction. Is that what Nigerians are thinking?
I think the first thing we need to deal with when we come to the public space, public space to share or to air our opinions, we have to, all of us, regardless of what party you are from, or who you support, or what you believe, have to adorn that toga of objectivity. Because in objectivity, our problems are the same. In objectivity, the challenges are the same. In objectivity, the opportunities that we all have to harness or take advantage of are the same. What I see most of the time is people just entrenching themselves in the differences, things that make us different. And what that has done, it has helped to polarize our nation even more. I was never one of those people who was in support of people calling President Jonathan a clueless president, because that is a brand we were selling to the international media, and they bought it. And everything that we sold in that format that brought our nation down brings every Nigerian down. I think that when you look at leadership, there's what you call the persona of leadership. First of all, it's hinged on the vision the person has, which may be tied to the vision of what he's pursuing, like in this case, Nigeria. Then you have the character of the person. Some people like to be quiet, some people like to be the showboys, showgirls. Then you have integrity. Then you come down to challenges and opportunities, then willpower. Then after that you have the environment. What kind of environment is that person in at that time? And I think those are the things we need to begin to look at. I have no issues with the president, as it were, right now, because as a Nigerian, I have told myself, this man is a new president. He possibly understands some things we don't understand. Where people think he's slow, I see him as a bit more deliberate.
Circumspect.
That is how I see it. And I think that this tradition of 100 days, with due respect to the local adage our friend used. Yes, sometimes it works, but it's not all the time that it works. If I got to a company that has been run down and my job was to save the business, the first thing I want to do is have a proper audit of all the systems before I take critical decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that is what, I'm saying this as a neutral, and I like the way you introduced me at the beginning, as a neutral. That is what I see. But we have to juxtapose this against the expectations of Nigerians. Nigerians want these things really fast. And that's why I said, in all of this, what we need to do more is communicate, engage, understand the expectations. It's not enough for the president to come in, I mean, with due respect, and say, oh, you know, these things that were flying around, I didn't know about them. I don't think that should work at this point. I think what should happen is, okay, this is what was said. Okay, I didn't know about this, fantastic, but this is how this is what I think we can do going forward. And now talking about direction, it is I think that's one of the things that people are also, in the public space, people are also talking about, that you know, the youth leader here for the APC mentioned something about the 3-point agenda, which I know the president spoke about even at his inauguration, which is economy, security, and dealing with corruption. But that as it is, they're just points. What is the economic direction? What is the security direction? We've seen some things happening in terms of corruption. And I think, in my own opinion, being in the public space, this has not been communicated clearly by the presidency.
I think I need to give some quotes that the president actually, some words that he actually used. He says, I'm really getting scared that if I get there, they will expect miracles within the next week or months. that would be very dicey handling this one. I think we have to have a deliberate campaign to temper high expectations with some reasonableness on the part of those who are expecting miracles to happen.
Which makes a lot of sense. Nigerians felt he was coming to wave a wand and
Fix everything.
And fix everything. But please, Mr. Fukola, can you be patient?
I'm not disturbing you.
Okay.
Maybe I'm like those people you're saying.
And they're impatient.
And mine can be like yours.
And you are very, very patient. No, but let's take this easy and slow. What you do, and it seems like magic, never lasts. Because magic is make-believe. It doesn't really exist. And the president saw that what Nigerians were expecting then was more like magic. And that was why he said what he just quoted. And like Mr. Egba said, his style is deliberative. And that is what Nigeria just needs at this time. It's possible that you have somebody who comes in, a showman, and he begins to do all the abracadabra, and you hail him. You hail him for 4 years. By the time he finishes, check, nothing enduring has been achieved.
Crumble.
So Nigerians wanted change, they still want change, and the president and his administration is determined to bring that change, but it's change that will be enduring,
but
not cosmetic.
That thing about the direction,
Well, that's
policy direction, what's the president saying about his direction?
Direction in different ways. It could be political, it could be economic, it could be social, and all that. But this is the situation that is on ground. The president came in, he was expected to form a government, and he was determined to do that. But then, like he said, if you were taking over an ailing company, the first thing you need to do is to find out, look at the books, and find out the state of that company before you begin to prescribe remedies and all that. And he came, he began to look at government, he began to look at the treasury, began to look at how the civil service operated, and he was alarmed. He said all the rules were breached. In fact, they were thrown out. And then he knew that those rules need to be reset. And he needed to do it, and that's what he's been doing.
Before bringing Mr. Ado, let me ask this question that someone asked. If the refineries are working suddenly, and there's more power without the current administration giving out contracts and all of that, then it means the workers there were sabotaging the system. Shouldn't they go to jail?
Government is a continuum. The last administration started some things. You won't say that what suddenly happened overnight was done by this administration. The administration continued to build on what it made. I remember sometime in July, Mrs. Omotayo Omotosho had come to the villa for an interview, and he asked the president, suddenly the refinery is working. How did you achieve it? And the president said, no, if I accept credit for that, I will be fraudulent. That it's something that is in process. That he has not touched the refinery at all, as at first week in July. Now that shows you that there was a situation which just responded to a new man on the beat.
Okay,
That's it.
Dr. Ado, we'll come back in here. Let's bring Dr. Ado from Abuja. Dr. Ado, now that things, from what Mr. Adesina said, the president is focused and he's taking things in stride. Would you say it's okay by your party, even though you're not speaking for your party, but you're a member of the opposition?
Yeah, I would say probably the president himself is keen to President Kennedy. You know, the furor on this 100 days after Roosevelt, 100 days. When Kennedy came into office, he said, look, my vision cannot be achieved in 100 days. In fact, it cannot be achieved in 1,000 days. It cannot even be achieved in my complete term in office. He said it may not even be achieved in our lifetime. So a vision of a leader is beyond actually one's own lifetime, because the leader is not just the leader of his people, but what he does affects not just the people he leads, but affects the generations yet to come. So we should not, therefore, hedge in the issue of 100 days that we must have to do everything and people must have to judge us within 100 days. So I believe very strongly that maybe the president is taking it slow and easy because he has realized that the vision he has for his country may have more even outlive his administration and even his lifetime. So that having been said, I would also want to say that we must hasten while we go slowly.